Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we will be starting a short series on the remastered version and I believe first PC release of the great game Shadow Complex that I played a few years ago and want to play again. Now, you can get this game in December, or you could have gotten this game in December of 2015 for free. You had to install the Epic Launcher, and I imagine you probably still have to install the Epic Launcher, so it's not on Steam, which is a little weird for me. But you can definitely tell it's not on Steam too. There's some weirdness. If you look in the top right corner, you see the X that would close a Windows window. You see the minimize, you see the maximize. They've got this custom Windows thing that will go away when we get into the game. But right now, it is just going to be there. Uh, so, just because when we click here and hit see how to play, Shadow Complex immediately comes out and says, it is based on a story from the Empire universe that parallels the world the events of Orson Scott Card novels Empire and Hidden Empire. Now, Orson Scott Card did not work on this game, but it is based on his works. They did license it, they did buy it, and they mentioned that. Now, it has more recently, I believe, or perhaps it was even somewhat known there, come out that Orson Scott Card has some political views that most people don't agree with. This game really doesn't cover it, but there is a slight controversy in that. This game is going to be kind of like Super Metroid. That's what they've designed it on. You don't get a lot of games like this, and what's really unique about this game is that on top of it being Super Metroid-like, it is short. It is a rather short game, so at most you could spend maybe 8 to 10 hours on it. Uh, Whereas most Metroidvania games, as they're called, uh, are a lot longer. And this was probably, since it's in its own like separate universe, it might be cool if they make a sequel. I would totally be willing to play a sequel to this game. Uh, You can see in the back there's this weird walking turret robot. This universe is weird. There's some bigger uh, walker robots in the background. Uh, the remaster basically just affects the graphics. I think it adds a few takedown maneuvers, and that's it. The one thing the remaster doesn't add, unfortunately, is that as far as I can see, there is no way to reset the graphics. No, not the graphics. The game progress. And there's cloud save with the Epic Launcher. So, just in testing, I've already gotten an achievement. And its achievements are here hidden under community for some reason. And because of that, there's no way to get it. Let There Be Light is already unlocked. Those are going to pop up no matter what I'd want. I don't believe there's a way to turn off that pop-up. So you can't reset your game. You can't turn off achievement pop-ups. Uh, there's definitely some stuff that's missing from Steam, and it's really weird to have to install a competitor to Steam to play literally like 3 games. The Epic Launcher has Unreal Tournament, Shadow Complex Remastered. It has their new game Paragon, which is why they're giving this game for free. And then it has the Unreal Engine, which is not a game. I tried to play with the Unreal Engine actually and build one of their demos, A Boy and His Kite it was called, and I spent about a day on it and could not get it to compile, which probably says more about just my lack of understanding how the Unreal Engine compiler works uh, than the demo, but it wasn't easy enough for me. So what we're going to do this episode is we're just going to go through the tutorial proving grounds uh, just to see it. It's kind of weird we're going to be doing tutorials because a lot of the elements that we're going to be playing the tutorial for are not going to be unlocked until well into the game. So this is the flashlight tutorial. In the top left it says shine the flashlight on the light blocks to determine the weakness by pressing a left bump. That of course should be right in the middle of the screen because most people aren't even going to see it. Same is true for the start and return the main menu in the lower left hand corner. They're thinking very much like a Windows program in how they set this up, but it should be more like TV play. Everything should be in the middle. So this is the game. Here we can hit left bump, and now we're seeing a color on each of these squares. Now the colors are an indicator of how strong each one of these things would be. So one of these things might be blown up by a grenade, one of these might require a missile, one of these might require just being shot at. And that's all this tutorial is. As soon as I hit left bump the first time, I got an achievement. And that's as far as I've played. You just walk through here and it's a success. So we go to the next one. Climb to the ledge to get to the top. This is the climbing gear tutorial. Climb up the ledge. So press A, you can climb. Press A, you can climb. Press A, you can climb. And walk through. Did not get an achievement for that one, which is great. I don't think the game needs to hand me achievements for every single little tutorial. Aiming and shooting. So already you can see kind of from the design and perspective here that this game looks a lot different from what you normally see. Right now he's in this all white outfit, but it will actually be colored in the actual game. So we're going to shoot the enemy with the pistol with the left trigger. Right trigger, I think. So you just aim with the right stick, and that gives you a laser. And then, oops, standing too close to an exploding robot. And then you can shoot. Or you can not aim, and if you're far enough away, it will just auto aim. Man, I just did that again. I am not very smart. Now. May have taken a little bit of effort to figure out that I needed to shoot through that crate air vent. This guy's still walking around. Well, I guess he was just moving because. Interesting. So, pretty violent game. Fire a grenade with the right bump. So, if we turn on the flashlight, we see this is green. That tells us now when we throw the grenade is green, it blows that up. We turn on the flashlight, that's green. We throw a grenade, it blows that up. Let's try this. Apparently there was a bunch of explosive barrels there. They do kind of move. They just kind of have one last gasp of moving. That's weird. That's a weird artistic design to have your bad guys move like a few seconds after they've technically been killed. I do not remember this game enough to know if that was the way it was before, but it probably was. Thrust jumping tutorial. For an extra jump in the air, press A. Alright. So he's got a little bit of a rocket pack. so I can jump up there. Again, this is a nice little way of seeing all the elements in the game you're going to get, which helps a lot actually stop you from trying to get to an area in the game that you can't reach yet. If you know what the elements are, it is kind of cheating. You're not going into the game blind, but it will save us some time, and it'll help me because I don't, again, remember this game enough to have memorized all of the extras. There's quite a few. So we have this SCHCA mask tutorial. Swim underwater while wearing that mask. I think that's all you have to do is you get the mask and then you can swim underwater. I don't believe there's any button actually for it. So you know by default, if you don't have that mask, you can't get through areas with water. You'll just drown. Or maybe you can swim a little bit, but you'll run out of oxygen after a while. Foam tutorial. To fire foam at blocks and enemies, press right bump. Well, wait a minute, wasn't right bump the button to release grenades? Yes, it was. So obviously there's going to be a certain point where we equip different weapons, and you can see in the lower left hand corner it says foam 50. We see that this is purple, and purple needs foam. That is an interesting concept for a weapon, because the weapon will, well, most games don't have foam as a weapon. See how the foam broke down there. So this one's a little trickier. They want you to shoot foam on the sensor up there, and then the sensor doesn't see you and doesn't lock. So you can shoot them afterwards, after you've foamed them. I don't think these guys just move. That is weird. I don't think you'd particularly want to use foam just on these level of bad guys, but I could see how those big walking robots, a little foam on their feet to stop them from walking around would help you. Omega armor tutorial, melee things that you couldn't before while wearing the Omega armor XOS7. Alright, so what's the melee button though? B. So you have to get next to him and you just hit B. We've seen the B prompt. This is ragdolling a lot. We've seen the B prompt. So there you had a room. Let's just retry that again, where you can just run here, I guess. Just get close to him. Apparently meleeing the person in front will knock a body into the back of somebody. And I get an achievement. Let's get punchy. Those will pop up, I suppose, at certain points. Can't turn them off. They're built directly into the game. So, friction dampener tutorial. A lot of weird add-ons that you don't see in most games. I'd like to have seen half of these things added to other standard run and gun shooters. To run as fast as possible, hold X. If you're fast enough, you can run up to walls and across ceilings. Okay. Hold X and run. Well, I think I screwed up. think you have to get a significant amount of speed. Fortunately, I have the double jump. So I can just jump over here. Now, I'm still holding right, but it moved me to the left. Okay. So, if I had more skill, there must be some way that I could have run across that bridge, come up the ceiling, maybe pressed A. It does have quite a build up to it, which is interesting in its own way. Just normally you'd have something like this, it would just be really fast and that would be it. So I want to play with this a little bit more, just so I have somewhat of a full understanding. Here we go. So I'm gonna switch here to left, press X. Ah, there we go. You have to switch to right and left. So let me retry this again with the bridge completely drawn. You have to jump, run through all this, switch to left, press A, switch to right. I should have pressed A there, and I would have been able to jump all the way through it. So, that is pretty challenging stuff that I'm going to have to get more acquainted with, but pretty cool stuff too. So now we have the missile tutorial. A third way to open doors. Usually they're not as blatant in how they have different ways blocked off, but this kind of is unique and cool in its simplicity. There's just 3 types of doors or 4 types of doors that require 4 types of different things. So we have missiles here. We see this is red. When we hit right down, we fire a missile. They all feel very different. See, this is red. This one actually takes 2 missiles. And apparently a missile will blow up more than one guy if they're close enough to each other. Should also take a moment to mention how some of these bad guys are standing in kind of a foreground and a background. So it seems like there's maybe 3 levels, a foreground, midground, and background, that are all easily accessible by us, and we will stay in the midground, probably, I think, the whole game. But it adds some interesting... What was I supposed to do here? Let's try that again. To fire the hook shot, press right bump. Everything is on right bump. Ah. Interesting. Also, I guess I could do that if I really wanted to be dangerous. Can I do this? Yes, I can. So not just ceilings, not any specific surface, I believe. I believe the hook shot in this game is going to work on practically everything. So that'll be a nice addition. CLD thrust boots tutorial. For 2 extra jumps while in the air, press A. So, double jump. 10 from the judges and the new achievement. So we're gonna get a triple jump, eventually, which means any place where we feel like we can't make it with a double jump, we now know in the game, when we get to the actual game, that there might be a reason for this. Fusion helmet tutorial. This is an interesting tutorial. They're just going to start by shooting at me. To stay invincible, walk slowly. Use the left stick to walk slowly with the controller. So just invincible, not invisible. So they're shooting me like crazy. But as long as I only press a little bit on the left stick, I can just walk through here. So, of course, that calls for us to figure out, that's too fast. That's too fast. Seems like anything faster than just a tiny slow crawl is too much. So I got the B prompt there. I wonder if I had hit him, whether that would have taken me out of my invincibility state. I don't think it's worth it to really test that. We'll figure it out eventually, I'm sure. Next one is, come on, let's jump. Jump across the gaps as fast as you can. Alright. Now, for the first time, this feels more like a challenge area than a actual tutorial. Of course, I could have been incredibly slow on that. There's probably something to say about that. Is that, yes, and now I've gotten this gold score, which I haven't been getting for any of the tutorial, not memorial, gosh. So we've hit the challenge packs, and the challenge packs 2, challenge packs 3. And I don't really see a reason why we would want to go ahead and do the challenge packs right now, even though we've done one. But we have done on the tutorial, so we now kind of know what's going to happen in the main adventure. And that's where I'm going to end it off for this recording. Next recording will be the beginning of the main adventure. As always, I end my episodes the same way, so in case you're new, I ask everybody to like this video, I ask everybody to share it with their friends, I ask everybody to comment if they want to, and I ask them to watch every second of my videos, because all of that works with YouTube and tells them that my videos are worth watching and that they're of good quality. So that really helps me out. The other things you can do is you can click on my name Rydo to get to my main YouTube page. And then on the right is a blue button that says support this channel. If you can afford it, you can click that button and make a donation. Even $1 would be very helpful to me. Also on my main YouTube page is my playlist tab. You can click that and you can see all the other games I've covered. I have covered a lot, so I'm sure there's something there that would interest you. Just click on one of those playlists. You can watch them from the beginning. Then also down below in the description box, I have social media links to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+. You can friend me on Steam. You can friend me on battle.net. I'm not really seeing a reason why I would have people friend me on the Epic Launcher right now. The Epic Launcher itself is going to have a lot more games to interest people to build a community there. But all of those links are down there. It helps me as a YouTube video game critic to have people following me, particularly on Twitter and Facebook. Companies want to see want to see me having lots of followers there because they think that means you're a big and influential person and that they and thus are worthy of their time. So that will open the door to new advantages and new opportunities in the future by having those grow. Plus, if you follow me on those services, you will see the exact second a new video comes out. Right now, new videos come out every Monday through Friday. I give you the weekends off to go back and catch up. There's plenty of old videos you could watch if you can't find enough can't find enough of my videos. Uh, so this game will come back at the same time today as it will tomorrow. So let me rephrase that. Let me say that correctly. The next episode for this game will come back at the exact same time this one came out. That's how it works. So come back tomorrow. Unless tomorrow happens to be Saturday, because today is Friday, then it will come back on Monday at the same time. Uh, and that's about it. So I always like to wrap up the same way. I truly mean it. I say thank you for watching and have a good evening. So, thank you for watching and have a good evening.